Hello everyone! Over the course of December, I played the new Path of Exile League, forbiddensanctum, and I wanted to share my thoughts or impressions on what I played so far. This will come from a perspective of a player that hasn't delved into the endgame content since Ritual League. I was mostly active on Path of Exile from Blight until Delirium, but some burnout started appearing, and also some questionable decisions by Grinding Geek Games made me distance a bit from the game, especially with the bad Calandra League launch. Furthermore, this will be just a short impressions video, as I didn't get too far into the end game. I stopped around the tier 16 maps on those elder mini bosses like the Cenotar or whatever they are called, the Hydra, those types of maps. First and foremost, I wanted to analyze and play this league mainly to see how GGG would react to the enormous backlash of the previous league, where they basically ruined loot drops and basically the arch nemesis was just broken, which are the two main reasons why I gave up on that league. In terms of the league mechanic for Forbidden Sanctum, I knew from the get-go I was going to dislike it, because it involves you leaving the map you are currently doing to do the mechanic. I prefer league mechanics that take place on the map you are doing, that are fast, fluid, chaotic, and have interesting rewards. Forbidden Sanctum is based on a roguelike system, not far from what you'd see in like Slay the Spire. You'll encounter a orb in the map to go into the Sanctum. In there, you will choose the path that you want to take. As you arrive at the Sanctum, you can equip relics on the altar that you may win over the course of your Sanctum runs. And you have some sort of book where you'll see the available paths for your Sanctum run. Now, different paths will give you different rewards and have different difficulties. It's all around the roguelike experience, right? There is also a resolve mechanic. As you take damage, your resolve slowly goes down, and even if you don't die, if your resolve goes to 0, your Sanctum run is basically forfeit. I think the system is well built, but it just did not cater to a PoE player like me. It takes too long of a time to effectively reach the end of the Sanctum run. The rewards for the most part, and from what I've experienced, are subpar, plus any runs where you fail turn into time wasting runs, since you basically get no rewards. Also, delaying rewards basically means that you get no reward for that specific run that you did. You can choose to either like delay a reward or just get a smaller reward right now at the end of your Sanctum run. Difficulty is also all over the place, since different rooms will keep adding debuffs as you visit them, and you may reach a point where you have so many debuffs that it's just unplayable to beat the next room or the end boss of the Sanctum run. Now let's speak a bit on the arch nemesis and the loot changes that took place on the last league. And as someone who played the previous league, I am happy actually with the Forbidden Sanctum changes regarding these two topics. The previous league was one of the worst ever in PoE history, in my opinion, but it's also historically proven by the plenty of Steam database graphics and tables that show the sharpest drop ever in players 1 week after the launch. It was statistically and historically the worst league ever for Path of Exile. I'm not joking. You can search, like just go to Google and put Path of Exile, Lake of Calandra, week 1 number of players, and you can get a comparison between all of the other leagues, and you can see that Lake of Calandra was the worst league ever. Arch Nemesis monsters took ages to kill due to all their mods, taking 10 times longer than even a map boss, and even when they dropped their loot, was just lackluster. Loot was also massively nerfed. This is in conjunction with the Arch Nemesis that you are trying to beat to get all that juicy loot, and you get nothing. And after reaching red maps and having almost no currency, I asked myself what was going on. Is my RNG that bad on this league? The answer is no. GGG just shadow nerfed the entire loot pool and was not transparent about it. Only when called out did they address the issue. Forbidden Sanctum corrects these mistakes. Arch Nemesis was swept away from the spotlight and no longer mobs with lots of mods will take ages to kill. Loot is also in a comfortable place where yellow and red maps are more profitable. Overall, it's a good league regarding these two controversial topics. That was all I wanted to say. That's my thoughts for this league. It's overall smoother and more fluid league compared to the disaster that was Lake of Calandra. I hope the next league mechanic is more in line with how I like to play PoE. Fast mappings where mechanics can be done inside the same map you are doing, which is just overall more interesting to players like me. That's why I enjoy mechanics like Metamorph, like Bridge, like Legion, like Blight. It's on the same map as you are clearing it. You are doing that mechanic as well. It's just overall easier for me as a player, and I just don't like the idea of you are doing a map, you are clearing it, and then you go into the Sanctum or whatever, like any mechanic that requires you to step away from the map, like Harvest, for example. Just not for me. That's it on my thoughts for Forbidden Sanctum. I didn't play long. Unfortunately, I had some issues with my GPU, which made me drop the league earlier than I wanted to. But still, it was a good league, at least in terms of loot and the changes that they made. Some new uniques, some new skills that I saw. Didn't have the chance to test those new skills, but it was still fun. Guys, see you on the next one, and I hope you enjoyed this thoughts on the PoE League, even though it's been a while since it has been released. See you on the next one.